Alright, guys, got some good news. So, you guys have probably heard Amy Pascal from Sony, she's a producer for Sony, has announced that Tom Holland will be reprising his role as Peter Parker and Spider-Man for a brand new trilogy after No Way Home. There was some skepticism. Will Tom Holland still be Spider-Man? Will he be in the MCU? Will there be any more standalone Spider-Man films? Well, this answers that question. There will be another trilogy with Tom Holland reprising his role as Tom Holland, excuse me, as Spider-Man and Peter Parker. I just think it's awesome because, Spider-Man is Marvel's best character. He's the best property that they have. He's fun. He's a down to earth character. He's interesting. He's got a great backstory. He's got cool powers. He's got everything that makes a hero great and interesting for kids, young adults, middle aged. All age groups can enjoy and love Spider-Man, and they do. So I'm excited. I'm super excited for Spider-Man No Way Home. We've seen some trailers, we've seen some villains from previous universes like the Webverse and the Raimiverse, and it's super exciting because that's going to be the final chapter as far as his MCU appearance goes, and it's going to be like a conclusion to Spider-Man's story, but there's definitely going to be more because Morbius comes out in January, so just a month after um, No Way Home, and of course they're going to tie it all in as well. They're saying it's a Sony Spider-Man film, but let's be honest, it's definitely going to be part of the MCU. I mean, that much is obvious. And then obviously Venom 2's post-credit scene, it showed how that ties into the MCU. So, this new trilogy is going to be, I mean, possibly he could face off against Morbius in the new trilogy. Possibly he could face off against Venom, which is what we've wanted to see. I mean, we saw it in 2007 with Spider-Man 3, but we didn't really see a good story between Spider-Man and Venom, like, actually as characters. I mean, Venom was kind of just thrown in there, and like the final act, just there wasn't. It was not a good cohesive story to even have Venom in that movie. But again, I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to knock that film, and I actually like the film overall, but not really going to go down that rabbit hole. But I think it's really exciting in that there's a new trilogy coming. So, I mean, there's a lot they could do. I wonder if they're going to go a more dark, horror, gritty type of aspect. I'm not sure they will because it is still owned by Disney, which is very family friendly. But if they were to go that way, I mean, there could be some pretty brutal fight scenes between, Spider Man and Morbius and Spider Man and Venom. If they wanted to do some stories with Man Spider and then bring in Craven, to hunt down the Man Spider and bring him in, because he's like a monster terrorizing New York or something, there's just so much they could do. They could, man. I mean, now with Doc Ock, joining the MCU for Spider-Man No Way Home, they could possibly even go into a superior Spider-Man direction, which would be, I mean, that would just be crazy. So, I mean, Spider Man is just an interesting character. He's great. There's so many comic books, there's so many stories, there's so much they can do for the new trilogy. So, I'm excited. Let me know what you guys think if you're excited about the new trilogy that they have just announced. And what are some of your ideas for what the story could be for the new trilogy? And what villains would you like to see in the new Spider Man movies that are going to be coming out? So, just leave your comments down below. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.